Hello everyone. Today I am offering a lecture on foundation engineering. So we know that in any structure in civil engineering, the final part through which the load is transmitted after slab, beam, column, it is foundation. So foundation is nothing but the final part of any structure which actually transmit the load to soil. So foundation engineering is a core part of civil engineering. So what is foundation? So foundation is that part of structure which finally transmit the load to soil. Okay. So what does the foundation do? Foundation transmit the load of structure to soil. So there are basically two types of foundation. Types of foundation. Types of foundation. One is shallow foundation. Another is deep foundation. So suppose I am drawing a isolated footing, isolated square footing. Suppose it is ground level, and this is foundation level. So the depth of foundation denoted by df. df is the depth of foundation, and the width of foundation will be denoted by b. So according to Tarjagi, if depth of foundation is less than or equal to width of foundation, then we call the foundation is shallow foundation, as per Tarjagi. But as per Skempton, if df 2.5 times less than b, not equal, if depth of foundation is 2.5 times of width of b, then we can say that foundation is shallow foundation. So it is the condition of shallow foundation according to Skempton. But in case of deep foundation, as per Tarjagi, depth of foundation will be greater than width of foundation, as per Tarjagi, and as per Skempton, depth of foundation will be greater or equal to 2.5 times of width of foundation, as per Skempton, in case of deep foundation. Okay, so it is the condition of shallow foundation when depth of foundation will be equal or less than of width of foundation, or in case of Skempton, according to Skempton, depth of foundation will be 2.5 times less than of width of foundation. It is the condition of shallow foundation. So it is ground level and it is foundation level. It is width of the foundation, it is the depth of the foundation. Okay, so in case of shallow foundation, if I am talking about shallow foundation, capacity due to only base resistance. That's mean whichever loads I am going to give, whichever loads suppose go through the foundation, all the load will be taken care by base resistance in case of shallow foundation. So we can write down that shallow foundation due to base resistor and deep foundation due to base and site resistance. So I will in another video I will explain about deep foundation. So for now I am going to discuss only shallow foundation. Okay. So types of shallow foundation. Types of shallow foundation. Types of shallow foundation. So first, steep foundation. Steep footing. Okay. So steep footing, when there is a wall, then the load of a wall is taken care by steep footing. So suppose it's a wall and the load of the wall will be taken care by steep footing. This is steep footing. Okay. Then combined foundation, combined footing. So in case we have not sufficient enough space, okay, we have very less space to design any foundation. So what we have to do, we have to make a common footing for two or more than two column. So when we are going to provide combined footing, when space is not sufficient, space constraint, then we will provide combined footing. Combined footing can be of trapezoidal shape. So combined footing for one column and column 1, and this is column 2. So as because we have not enough space, so we just for column 1 and column 2 we just provide a common footing. This is called combined footing. This is called combined footing. Combined footing. So it can be of trapezoidal shape. When suppose the load in column 1 is much greater than load in column 2. So suppose I assume that load in column 1 is Q1 and load in column 2 is Q2. So when Q1 is greater than Q2, then the shape of the footing will be something like trapezoidal. We have to provide extra large area where load is more. Okay. Next, wrapped or matte foundation. So when wrapped and or matte foundation actually provide, when the bearing capacity of soil, bearing capacity means the load carrying capacity, when the bearing capacity of soil is less, and in other way we can say that when there is a possibility to differential settlement, then we provide wrapped or matte foundation. So when bearing capacity is less, when bearing capacity is less, or there a chance of differential settlement, then we provided wrapped or matte foundation. So how wrapped or matte foundation look like? It is something like a foundation, a large area will cover a foundation, and there will be so many column will share a common foundation. Okay. So now the foundation needs to satisfy three criteria. The foundation need to satisfy three criteria. What are those criteria? First, location and depth. Second, shear failure or bearing capacity criteria. Shear failure or bearing capacity criteria. Okay, and then settlement criteria. Okay. So, if I am talking about location and depth, it should be located, the foundation should be located appropriately so that it will not be affected by the weather or by swelling or sinkage property of soil. That means we have to locate it in such a way that the foundation should not affected by the weather or by the swelling or sinkage property of soil. That means for to just counter this kind of swelling or sinkage property or weathering, we have to provide the depth of foundation at least 50 centimeter, okay, from ground level. This is the foundation level, ground level. We have to provide it at least 50 centimeter depth just to encounter the weather or swelling or sinkage property. But 2 and 3 are most important, as because shear failure or bearing capacity and settlement criteria we have to learn more. So now there are some terminology. First, Gauss pressure intensity. Okay. So Gauss pressure intensity means the total load due to superstructure, plus self weight plus weight of soil film over the footing. So Gauss pressure intensity means pressure due to total load. Okay. So total load means it will be superstructure load plus self weight plus weight of soil fill over the footing. So Gauss pressure nothing but the total pressure Now I am drawing a isolated square footing. It is a isolated square footing. Isolated square footing. It is foundation level, ground level, and this is foundation level. And depth of the foundation df. Width of the foundation b. It is an isolated square footing. Okay. So what will be the area of the footing? As because it is square, the area will be b square. Now suppose the load of the footing is P. P is the load due to superstructure load and self-weight load. P is the load due to superstructure and self-weight load. So what will be the Gauss pressure intensity? Gauss pressure intensity Qg will be the load. Pressure means load by area, then the load divided by area. This is due to superstructure load and self-weight. But for third term, there will be some kind of pressure. So, before construction, what we actually do? We would make a hole of square size. Suppose it is an isolated square footing. So, before construction, we have to make a hole of square. Suppose it is square. We just excavated the soil before construction. Okay. So then what will be the weight of this square hole? The weight of the soil. What will be the weight of the soil? Area b square into how much depth we just excavated, df, then we get the volume into unit weight of soil, then we get the weight. So that's mean before construction a foundation, we just excavated up to df depth, and the dimension was the excavation was b by b. Then we got the weight of the soil is b square df gamma w. So just to find out the pressure, what we have to do? We have to divide it weight by area. Then the pressure. What will be the pressure? Weight by area. Weight B square into dF into gamma W by area B square. So we got gamma W dF. This is called overburden pressure. Overburden pressure. Actually, this pressure soil have experienced in past life. Okay. So after constructing foundation, we have to put back the soil again. That's mean this gap will fill by soil. We have to fill back the soil again. Okay. That's why we have to take the overburden pressure in count. Okay. This is nothing but the overburden pressure. Okay. Now second term is net pressure. Net pressure intensity. So what is net pressure intensity? So as I said, this overburden pressure was there even before the construction of this footing. That means there will be no deformation due to overburden part. As I said that this overburden pressure already was there. This overburden pressure was there already even before we constructed the foundation. So this overburden pressure will not make any deformation. So just to calculate net pressure intensity, we have to deduct this overburden pressure to Gauss pressure. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to just deduct this overburden pressure to get net pressure intensity. So net pressure intensity Qn. What will be the net pressure intensity? Gauss pressure minus overburden pressure, gamma dF. Actually, why? Because this overburden pressure was already there even before construction. So then what will be the value of Qn? Qg is equal to P by B square plus gamma W dF minus gamma W dF is equal to P by B square. Okay. Now, third, ultimate bearing capacity. Third is ultimate bearing capacity. What is ultimate bearing capacity? This is the maximum Gauss intensity of loading that soil can carry before failing in shear. So this is the maximum Gauss intensity of loading that soil can carry before filling in shear. Okay. Next, net ultimate bearing capacity. It is the maximum net intensity of loading. It is nothing but the maximum net intensity of loading. Maximum net intensity of loading. So just to find out net ultimate bearing capacity, QNU, net ultimate bearing capacity, we have to deduct it overburden pressure to ultimate bearing capacity. This is the overburden pressure. So in net we will deduct the overburden pressure because it already was there before construction, so it will not create any deformation of soil, deformation in soil. That's why we just deduct it. Okay. Next, net shape bearing capacity. What is net shape bearing capacity? We have to divide it net ultimate bearing capacity by factor of safety. So net shape bearing capacity will be net ultimate bearing capacity by factor of safety. Okay. So QU minus gamma dA by factor of safety. In generally factor of safety 2.523. Generally factor of safety is 2.523. Okay. Next, Gauss shape bearing capacity. It is maximum gross intensity of loading that the soil can transfer safely. That means it is the safe load. So what can we say? It is maximum or total Gauss pressure which can be applied at the base of foundation safely without danger of shear failure. Okay. So what is Gauss shape bearing capacity? Maximum gross intensity of loading that the soil can transfer safely. That means the maximum Gauss pressure which can be applied at the base of foundation safely without danger of shear failure. This is the shear criteria. Okay, this is the shear criteria. So we are talking about safety. Okay. So QS, That means shape bearing capacity will be QNS plus gamma dA is equal to QNU by factor of safety plus gamma dA. Okay, we are not using any factor of safety for gamma dA as it was already existing. Okay, again, as because gamma dF was already existing even before construction, so it will not create any kind of deformation. That's why we are not taking any factor of safety of overburden patient. Now, settlement criteria. So, I have discussed about shear criteria. Now, I am going to discuss settlement criteria. Settlement. Shape bearing pressure. What is shape bearing pressure? It is the maximum net intensity of loading that soil can carry without excessive settlement. So, it is the maximum net intensity of loading the soil can carry without excessive settlement. Okay. So, we have just discussed shape bearing pressure. Now, 8 allowable bearing pressure. What is allowable bearing pressure? It is minimum of shape bearing pressure and net shape bearing capacity. It is minimum of allowable bearing pressure. That means the foundation will allow this mass pressure. Okay, so minimum of shape bearing pressure this is comes from settlement, and another is net shape bearing capacity. This is come for shear. Okay. So allowable bearing pressure also called allowing bearing capacity. Allowable bearing capacity. Okay. Now one important things. Suppose what was the value of net? What is the value of net bearing capacity? Net pressure intensity was gauge pressure minus overburden pressure. So net pressure intensity QG minus overburden pressure. Okay. But in case I am taking isolating square footing. Okay, I am taking same footing again. Okay, it is depth of foundation, width of foundation. Okay, But after constructing, if I say that after constructing the footing, we do not place back the soil again. After constructing the soil, if we do not soil place back again, okay, we just make this place empty. If we do not put back the soil again, then definitely it will be empty. It will empty. So in that case, what will be the gross pressure intensity? What will be the gross pressure intensity? Ug is equal to P by B square plus overburden pressure will be 0, as because there is no soil, we do not allow to put back the soil again, then there will be no overburden pressure. So in this case, what will be the net pressure intensity? Net pressure intensity is nothing but gross pressure intensity minus overburden pressure. But in that case, gross pressure intensity is only P by B square minus gamma dF. That means net pressure intensity will be less. If depth of foundation is more, then it will becomes less. So very interesting things I am saying now. Suppose you take a soil which has very less bearing capacity. Suppose clay. Clay have a tendency to differential settlement, and it is not sufficient strong enough to carry the load, because it is a chance to be settled in future. So now for clay we have to provide it mat or wrapped foundation. Suppose mat or wrapped foundation, we just provided mat or wrapped foundation. Okay, so column. Okay, so after constructing wrap foundation, in case soil having less bearing capacity, in case soil having less bearing capacity, then our aim just to make Qn is equal to 0. Okay, so in this case, after constructing the foundation, we are not putting back the soil again. So that's why the net ultimate intensity of pressure will be P by B square minus gamma dF. So then P by B square minus gamma dF will be 0. So P by B square is equal to gamma dF. That's mean gamma dF, look, overburden pressure, it is nothing but overburden pressure, and this amount of pressure soil have already experienced in past life. So and I am just providing same amount of pressure to the soil. So there is no excessive pressure, there will be no additional pressure, then soil will not just feel any excessive stress. In this way, soil will not feel any excessive stress, and this is called compensated or floating wrapped. Compensated or okay. So from next class I will explain types of shear failure. Thank you.